Georgia State Senator Colton Moore was banned from entering the state capitol during Governor Brian Kemp's State of the State address. And needless to say, he did not take this news very well. Let's talk about it. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about a series of kickouts that have happened all over this country, but we're going to focus on two. I'm sure there's more, but we're going to focus on two. The first one is what I just showed you. Colton Moore of Dade County, Georgia, getting kicked out of the state capitol in Atlanta. We'll talk about that in a minute. But there was also Tony Blinken. He had some sort of press conference, and not one, but two journalists got kicked out. One got the Greta Thunberg treatment, picked up off his feet, and carried out of the building. Now, first things first, let's go to Max Blumenthal. Then we're going to go to the next journalist. I think his name is Sam Husseini. Then we're going to go to Colton Moore. And of course, all the videos, everything I'm talking about right now will be in the box. Again, let's start with Max Blumenthal. What happened here? What's he talking about? Why did he get kicked out of this room? Check it out.
Kept the bombs flowing. Why did you sacrifice the rules-based order on the mantle of your commitment to Zionism? Why did you allow my friends to be massacred? Why did you allow my friends' homes in Gaza to be destroyed when we had a deal in May? You helped destroy our religion, Judaism, by associating it with fascism. You waved the white flag before Netanyahu. You waved the white flag before Israeli fascism. Your father-in-law was an Israel lobbyist. Your grandfather was an Israel lobbyist. Are you compromised by Israel?
Now, again, he's talking about Tony Blinken. That's the whole thing. That's the whole press conference is Tony Blinken. Was that Secretary of State, right? Let's keep on going.
Why did you allow the Holocaust of our time to happen? How does it feel to have your legacy be genocide? How does it feel to have your legacy be genocide? You too, Matt, you smirk through the whole thing every day. You smirk through a genocide.
All right, so there's one person getting kicked out. That was kind of an easy kick out. He just kind of left quietly. All right, now let's look at the other person. His name is Sam Husseini. Check it out.
People, you pontificate about a free press. You pontificate about a free press. You are hurting me. You are hurting me. You are hurting me. I am asking questions after being told by Matt Miller that he will not answer my questions until I'm asking questions. Wasn't the point of the May 31st statement to block the ICJ orders? You blocked the ICJ orders.
Please, sir, respect the process.
Respect the process. Respect the process. While everybody from Amnesty International, to the ICJ is saying that Israel is doing genocide and extermination, and you're telling me to respect the process.
All right, so you see what's going on there. My man's getting picked up off his feet and carried out of the building. There's a caption here I want to read right quick before we move on to the next thing. Okay, so this is from I'm Meme O, but these are real clips. I'll link to them in the box. It says, two journalists, Max Blumenthal and Sam Husseini, were removed from Blinken's final press conference after raising questions and making statements about U.S. involvement in the Gaza war. Reporter Sam Husseini was forcibly removed from the press briefing after asking Blinken, why aren't you at The Hague? War crimes, right? Shortly afterward, journalist Max Blumenthal, who I showed you earlier, he has a big Twitter page as well. And this video was on his Twitter. Well, he had a point of view from his camera on his own Twitter. I'll link to that in the box. Shortly afterward, journalist Max Blumenthal challenged Blinken during his farewell address, asking, why did you allow the Holocaust of our time to happen? How does it feel to have your legacy be genocide? All right, so there we have it. Now, let's get to Colton Moore. I'm going to read this right here. Then we're going to get to the action. It says, Governor Kemp's State of the State addresses today at the Capitol. Georgia House Speaker John Burns had told Senator Colton Moore he would not be allowed to attend. Moore decided to go anyway. Yesterday, Moore said Speaker John Burns is attempting to arrest and block me from representing the 53rd District at tomorrow's State of the State joint session. This corrupt move is an attempt to silence your voice and mine. Burns said unless Moore apologized for the comments made about former Speaker David Ralston, he remained barred from entering. Now, I'll talk about Ralston and whatnot, why he was censored, why he may be an issue in general. I'll talk about that after we get done watching the clip. Check it out.
You don't have to be in the way. You're breaking the law too.
Now, you could tell by some of the body language and how they talk to him. Colt, come on, Colton. They have probably had issues with him before. Now, look. $1 million question. Has he been drinking? I don't know. That's what it looks like, but I can't say that for sure. He was kind of doing all this with his body. Maybe that was him just trying to sneak past to say, hey, I'm not resisting. I'm not trying to touch you. I'm not trying to fight. Maybe that's what that was. I can't call it. But for him to be on the ground like this, pretty embarrassing. Let's continue.
Too far. It has gone too far. I have an obligation to be in that room. I represent 200,000 people in Northwest Georgia who duly elected me to be here today.
It ain't that many of y'all in Northwest Georgia, Dade County. You're from Trenton, Georgia. Population 2,195 people. That is the county seat of Dade County. So you're talking about the Chattanooga metropolitan area plus Dade County, yes, but not Dade County by itself.
And you're hindering that. Unconstitutional.
Go ahead.
You have no respect for the Constitution.
I need you to step away.
Complete disrespect to the Constitution.
I need you to step away from the door now.
Okay.
I don't want to go down this road with you, but I need you to step over here. Yes, sir.
I have a constitutional
I
obligation.
understand what you're
to be
saying,
there.
sir. Okay, I understand what you're saying. This is going too far, so we need to stop it.
So you're preventing me from entering.
The doorkeeper said you are not allowed in, sir.
Sir, the doorkeeper has no authority.
Sir,
As a senator of the joint session, I have more authority than this doorkeeper of the House.
you're causing disturbance. You're going to
Sir, I'm not causing disturbance. I need to be let in.
You're not going in. You're free to stand.
Shout out to the cop. He ready. The cop right here is like, hey, man, come on. If I got to do something, I got to do something, but we don't want to do it to you, Colton. Come on now. Come on, Colton. Stop all this now. It's enough now. That's what I hear. They're trying to get him just to relax, and they don't want to do all this. They don't want it to be public. One thing I know about this area, again, Northwest Georgia, that's not far from me, probably about an hour away. This area, it's a good old boy network. They keep things quiet. They're not trying to embarrass you. If you got any kind of issues you're dealing with, they want to deal with it in-house. But if you do something wrong, you get out of line, they will punish you.
Out here and hang out. I'm not going to be any issue if you try to push some good people. You're going to have an issue.
Gentlemen, I'm allowed in. Let me in.
We'll keep you out. Come on, don't hurry us. Okay?
What is going on? What is going on?
Now, he was booked into Fulton County Jail and given a $1,000 surety bond. Just for anyone needing context, this senator made a vulgar and offensive remark during a resolution honoring a late House Speaker with a building named after him at UNG. It included Senator calling him one of the most corrupt Georgia leaders we'll ever see in our lifetime. Now, there are lots of rules of conduct with how you speak and act on the floor. This violated decorum, and it was chastised by both parties. They went with procedure and suspended him. The best analogy is removing someone from a public hearing that is being hostile and aggressive. That's the reasoning, and whether or not you agree, that's up to you. Hope it clears things up. So yeah, it's about David Ralston, the former House Speaker, RIP to him. They were giving him a building at UNG. He didn't like it. Colton Moore didn't like it. And then he wanted to say something about him at the actual event. His family, his kids and everything were there. They're like, hey, y'all, you can't be doing that. You're violating decorum. And he was universally chastised by both parties in Georgia's state government. So he was banned from caucusing with Republicans, and he was banned from the House floor. Now, what he wanted to do was go onto the House floor despite the ban, which, by the way, was enacted in March 24. He wanted to violate the ban and go on the House floor while the governor was speaking. And they said, no, you can't do that, Colton. Come on now. And then that resulted in him doing all the tussling, feet on the ground, trying to fight, and then getting arrested with a $1,000 surety bond. Now, as I close, I want to say this. Shout out to everybody that's not getting drug out by their feet, arrested, and everything else. Some are going to say that Colton Moore didn't do anything wrong, and he's just trying to get finally out. Listen, Georgia, unlike California, is governed very well. You could say it's a good old boy system or whatever, but there's a reason why Brian Kemp won so overwhelmingly over, let's say, Stacey Abrams, okay? It's a reason. People understand who they're governed by in the South. It's smaller, it's more, these people, they've been around for a long time. Guys that are in government or guys that are in business, they've been around for a long time. The professionals, they know what they're doing. They're not in there just trying to get a job to go travel like Karen Bass and many others. They're not in there trying to grift or steal money. They're in there trying to do the best thing for the citizens of Georgia, which is why everybody wants to move here, okay? You're talking about, these red states and these governors are racist. Well, why does everybody want to come to Tennessee, Georgia, Florida, North Carolina, Texas, etc.? Name some of the governors. Bill Lee, Tennessee, great governor. DeSantis, Florida, great governor. Brian Kemp, Georgia, great governor. Greg Abbott, Texas, great governor. How about California? Gavin Newsom. Illinois, J.B. Pritzker. New York, Kathy Hochul. Do you think they're better governors than Brian Kemp? Do you think their state governance is better than a Georgia, Florida, Tennessee, Texas? Do you really think that? And government's got to work in a certain kind of way. And when you get in the way, it don't matter. Democrat, Republican, it could be the president himself. It doesn't matter. They're going to do what's best for their state. And personally, I can't do nothing but respect that. So, Colton Moore, maybe you mean well. Maybe you want to do what's right for Dade County and what's right for the state of Georgia. But you got others you got to work with. You got to figure out a way to cooperate and get this whole thing going. Georgia is run very well. People that run it don't want it to change. People that live here don't want it to change. They want things to go as planned. You wanted to bring up Fonnie Willis on a special session, and Kemp said, look, okay, that's fine, but really what you want to do is just get some money for yourself. In the weird grifter moment, you're not really trying to do anything. You're trying to send a signal to the outside world that, hey, I'm doing this. Give me some money. Okay, Fonnie will get handled. It's already a system in place. Okay, they done already took her off the case. She's pretty much dead in the water. She's pretty much dead in the water. Ain't no point in you trying to do something to get some kind of self-gratification, in my humble opinion. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your opinion about journalists being kicked out of the Anthony Blinken press conference? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. How about Colton Moore being kicked out of the state capitol in Atlanta, Georgia? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. I mean, people, I don't know, seem a little bit, be a little bit on edge. Colton Moore has had issues before. They already censored him. He was already doing kind of weird stuff. Again, both parties in Georgia said, hey, man, you got an issue. And again, Georgia is run very well. I love Georgia. Georgia's great. One of the best states governance-wise in this nation. And if anybody says anything else, they are a liar. And then I would ask them, where are you from? California? You can't say a word to me about any kind of governance coming from that failed state. You got the most beautiful state with so many smart, intelligent, innovative people, but your leaders are completely incompetent. A regular garbage man from Inland Empire would be better than Gavin Newsom, and that's no disrespect to the garbage men out there. Georgia's run well. They know what they're doing. Some people kind of want to get in the way and do their own thing. Look, man, you got to work with the team to have this state on track, or you can go over there. I have no problem with that. Whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.